Hello, this is question 9 on your mix exercise 3 from year 13. You have this function here, and this is the domain, and you have to find f minus 1. Remember, to find f minus 1, we have like a trick. We have to make x the subject, so we have this function here. We are going to make x the subject. For that, I'm going to multiply both sides by x minus 1, 2x plus 3. I expand the brackets, so yx minus y is going to be 2x plus 3. I'm going to put all the x's together in one side, so I have yx minus 2x is going to be equal to everything else into the side, so 3 plus y. And I'm going to factorize the x on the left hand side, y minus 2, 3 plus y, and then I divide by y minus 2, so x is going to be 3 plus y divided by y minus 2. And now what I'm going to do is to call x f minus 1 and y back to x. And this is my inverse function, yeah? This one here. So I make x the subject, and when I have x the subject, I call x f minus 1 and y back to x, yeah? When you give a function, you should give the domain, but we are going to find the domain here. So in this case, I'm just going to do the domain in the second part, and if you want, you can write it here. Range of f minus 1, I'm going to remind you something very helpful with functions. So range of f is going to be the domain of f minus 1, and range of f minus 1 is the range of f. So we are going to use this a lot when we have to find range or domain of f minus 1 because it's very helpful. So the range of f minus 1 is the domain of f. So it's here, it's given. We don't need to do anything. But instead of x, as is the range of f minus 1 of x, I'm going to write y or f minus 1. So it doesn't matter if you don't remember to change the... so we say greater than 1 is going to be greater than 1, yeah? We can write this or we can write this, but if you forget and you write x greater than 1, and you say that is the range, in most of the exam questions won't penalize. So they say accept the use of x instead of y, yeah? But this is your domain. And then the range, sorry, this is the range. The domain is where this function is defined. This function is defined for any value of x except the 2 that makes the denominator 0. But it's the inverse of this function, and this function has a particular domain. So it's not going to be just any value except 2. We have to be careful because it's going to be slightly different. If you think about this function, and I'm going to show you very briefly how that function looks like. So that function is a reciprocal. You have you will learn about this. You know about reciprocal graphs, but you will learn how to represent a graph like this later on the year. We have a horizontal asymptote in the y equal 2 and a vertical asymptote in the x equal 1. So the graph is doing something like this and this here, yeah? This is this function, but this function has a domain where x is greater than 1. X greater than 1, so this is the 1, means that we only have this branch. We don't have the other one. We only have this branch. So the range of this function here would be y greater than 2, because I have only this branch. So if it was the whole thing, it will be y different than 2, because I have values of y's above and below. But we don't have this branch, so it's going to be, the range is going to be y greater than 2. That's why the domain of this one is going to be greater than 2, yeah? So this one, the domain, you can say that is any value of r where is greater than 2. That's the domain. And if you want, you can write here the domain, as we say. X greater than 2. And we use x because it's the variable in our function. Yeah? And that's all with this question.